Here is Icing, and Icing is a very cool horse, and this is his first post-track ride today, and I'm really, really happy to have him in the barn. He's just a super, super nice, professional, easy, rideable, amazing brained horse who I think would suit so many people that are on the market looking always. I mean, just who doesn't need a level-headed professional type of horse. So Icing is a 16-hand, 7-year-old thoroughbred gelding by Nyquist. He had 47 career starts, so a true war horse. He made $253,000, so about a quarter million dollars earned. He last ran on 626, and honestly, he's pretty much been waiting the last month and a half to come to me, which is both good and bad. Well, actually, in his case, it's really just good because he just got to hang out in a field for the last 6 weeks or so and have some nice letdown time. Not that he particularly needed. He retired from racing extremely sound, but I've just been super backed up with horses that I'm helping my friend Jody place. And so he just kind of had to get in queue and wait. And he did that. And he's been well let down and turned out. And actually, I'm turning him out with another new mare that just got here out in the jump field because I'm short on field space right now with all these horses I have. So he's turned out with the mare out in the big jump field, and they've been awesome out there together. So what else? Icing has been all over the country. The majority of his racing has been in the Mid-Atlantic, but he's also done a couple of races up at Woodbine in Canada. He even did one race out in Arizona. He did a couple in Florida, and the rest were all in the Mid-Atlantic. But certainly he's a very well-traveled horse. He earned $250,000 racing, which is very cool, and I think that's a sizable amount of money. He sold for $300,000 as a 2-year-old, so he didn't quite pay that back. But just a very cool horse who is well traveled, seen a bunch, and he just acts like it. He came out today for his first post track ride and just acted like it was another day at the office and no big deal. And he's really everything I love about the average thoroughbred that's coming up the track that's just so cool and easygoing. And I'm sure I was asking him to do things today that he's not been asked to do in the past, like bend and soften and all this stuff. And certainly he's green to it, but he's not green to working and riding and having a job and being asked a question. And he's very happy to work in a very easygoing way. So I mean, you can just see how quickly and easily he figured out the contact. He's super soft in his mouth. Actually, what's cool about that is you can see that rain cloud passing by us. We actually didn't get that, but it was very cool. You could see that whole storm just off in the distance. Anyway, but it did mean that it was just absolutely so humid today, and he's a very good sweater. It was just ridiculously humid and hot and buggy. But Icing was a total gentleman, and he did not care. He was just God, he was wonderful. I wish every first post track ride could be this easy. So what you're seeing there is that the left bend is slightly harder for him than the right. And so when he's wanting to lean just ever so slightly on that left shoulder, and then of course I'm putting my inside leg on, he thinks that it's easier just to almost want to pop into the canter than it is to sort of flex to the left and wrap around that inside leg in the trot, which right now I'm sure it is for him because his left canter is absolutely lovely. And he's just, not sure about exactly what I'm asking him or doesn't have the muscling for it. So there's little sort of like hop steps you're seeing there to the left, and it's only to the left. It's just us having a little conversation about the fact that the inside leg, when I put it on, does not always mean to step into the left canter. Oftentimes I'm just asking him for a little bit more flexion to the left or to yield off that left leg. It's just that this is a perfectly normal thing for them to need to learn. And he is smart as a whip and more than willing to do anything you ask of him. So he will figure it out very quickly. But that's all it is. I know it looks a little funny sometimes when it looks like he's about to try to step into the canter, and he is trying to step into the canter, and I'm just sort of saying, hey, no, let's try and right there. I'm saying, hey, no, let's try and find some left flexion and figure this out in the trot. And he's saying, well, actually, it would be so much easier just to canter to the left, which he is correct. His left canter is absolutely lovely. Actually, both his canters are lovely. So here we went off and worked on it for a minute, and then he actually figures it out so well that he starts wanting to do some stretch, which is just so smart of him and so lovely. Now, you really can't force a horse to stretch. It's just a result of them starting to understand the contact and the connection. And so I always think that it's so impressive when they start to find the stretch on like their first or second post track ride. And of course, he gets it for a couple of strides, he loses it for a couple of strides, now he has it, it's lovely, but he'll hold it for like a long side and then he'll come up and we'll have to have a little conversation, but all just totally, totally normal stuff. I'm so happy to have the conversation with him and he's just trying so hard. So other little things about him besides the fact that I just think that he is a superstar, and for anybody looking for a really easy lovely restart, I actually think he'd be a great first restart for anyone. Anyone who's looking to restart their first thoroughbred or their first green horse in general. He's really not that young. He's 7. He has a huge amount of life experience, which makes him an excellent first restart for somebody. But certainly you want to have a trainer who can help you, a good support system. And I do think that's especially important with the first restart, but honestly, I think that's important with any young green horse or even any horse in general. I mean, it takes an army to develop a horse properly, and sometimes you get stuck, you're not sure what the answer is, the horse isn't sure what the answer is, and it's always really helpful to have a team of people behind you that you can go to seeking advice from. I certainly do. I take lessons from multiple people, and I am always trying to sort of add to my band of people I can go to for help. So his right canter, because he wants to step into that left canter so easily, we got the right canter over a pole, which there's nothing wrong with that. He simply just doesn't understand yet the aids for stepping into the right canter. He doesn't have enough tools in his kit yet. He will develop them easily, but it's just going to take a little bit of time, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Once he got the right canter over the pole, I mean, obviously he's lovely. There is nothing not to like here. He has 3 lovely gaits, the canter included. There's really nothing I don't like about this horse. I think he's so cool. And he's just so darn rideable and level-headed. All the things you want in your horse. So I should say, though, on that note, other things about him. He's going to be on the market way below what I would have him at if he didn't have some arthritic change in his ankles. I'm trying to remember which one has, I think it's the left has more change. The right actually looks really good. It's the left has some changes in it. Obviously the horse is super sound. He's had a long career on it. It is not bothering him at all. However, I don't think that any vet's going to look at that and tell you that this should go be an upper level horse. And certainly I don't really think he wants to go be an upper level horse. He will be an amazing lower to mid-level horse in any discipline. Certainly, I think he could go event, he could fox hunt, he could do hunter jumper world. He has the kind of brain where he'd be happy to do anything. So I do have the films, thanks to his racing connections very much for sharing those with me, and I'm putting them in his Flickr album. So if you want to see his films, go to my website. Underneath the price for him, there's a link to his Flickr album. Click on that and the films will be in there, and they're just open to the public. Share them with whoever you want. If you're super duper interested in him, please, share them with your vet, your husband, your, whoever, your best friend, whoever needs to bless, whatever needs blessing before you can move forward on a horse. Please do share the films with anybody who needs to see them. My vet and his racing vet said, as long as the horse is sound, which obviously he is super sound, he should be golden for a lower to mid-level career. So to me, that sort of sounds like, training and below, which I think will absolutely be his jam, and he'll be a very cool, fun horse for someone.